My name is Keith and I'm known as the Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to be talking to you all about why you should never have enemies. So this video is very important. Most of you waste your life plotting against enemies, not returning their energy, but returning your energy to them once you call it back. There's a giant difference there. You gotta be very careful with giving people your time who are working against you. I'm gonna give you a little secret, is that your enemies are actually their own worst enemies. Leave them on their own and they will be completely fighting themselves, or they'll find someone else to fight. Now, I'm gonna start off this video with talking about, a lot of you will listen to me, yes, but then you'll kind of not listen to me because this is a video that you see once, but you don't apply it to your life. This video is going to be so that you can apply this video to your life and you can see significant progress. When you have an enemy, when you devote your energy to someone, even subconsciously, maybe you might say, oh, they're not my enemy, I don't have enemies, but in your mind, in the back of your head, you're taking someone who's plotting against you and you're giving them all your energy. You're just thinking about them. You're trying to think about, oh, what's this person thinking about me? Or, oh, who's this person talking to me about? Like, who are they talking about? I'm gonna give you a little secret to life that'll help you guys get so ahead. You don't have enemies. Your enemies are their enemies, like I just said. I'll go into deeper detail about that. But when you have someone who goes out of their way to cause negative energy towards you, they conjure that negative energy to themselves, by themselves, and when you let them sit with that energy, it wipes them out. Someone who goes around making enemies to every single person is someone who will always find their match. Don't let them find it with you. Don't acknowledge that. There are so many different examples, but one of them is a frenemy. So you're friends with someone, but you have not taken the extra steps that you need to steal your energy and cut them off. Yeah, you can still be nice to them, but it doesn't mean you have to respond to them. You don't have to give them your energy. You don't have to give them your time. Because guess what? Everything is energy, and if you're working on yourself, you're not working towards wondering who they're talking to, and you guys have to do your part as well. Don't be out here making enemies. Don't be out here, okay, when you're doing right by God, when you're doing right by your angels and your guides, they'll take care of it. Yeah, they will. When you just say, I give this to you, God, it's taken care of. So why would you go back? Why would you linger? I mean, it's a very spiritually mature thing to say, I never have enemies, and this is what I would like you guys to work up towards. I make up words sometimes. It'll be in the dictionary 10 years from now, but guys, if you find that you have not been making your goals, if you have not been making your milestones, maybe you wanted to move this place 2 years ago, but you're wondering why you haven't moved there yet. Maybe you want a new job, but you're stuck at your current job. Maybe you have all these enemies at your current job that you acknowledge. Maybe when you don't, okay, the first thing you can do to not making enemies is to trust your instincts, trust your intuition. Your guides will tell you when that person is going to try to make you their enemy because they're not happy with themselves. People will make you their enemies out of jealousy. They'll make you their enemies out of just boredom, gossip, just different ways to divide. If you're a person with good intention, if you're someone with clean energy, this will be very easy for you not to do. You won't have enemies. And guess what? When you stop acknowledging someone who's going after you, God steps in 100% and removes them. A lot of energy in this video. And I have a stable tripod today. I'm doing it on a cooler that someone literally left because people have rafts that they just pull up on and boats, because I guess they find that it's easier to live on the water than to live here because less traffic. I don't know. Someone just left a giant cooler right there, but whatever. But the biggest thing is to not react. My last video is how to keep your cool, because some people will get up in your face, maybe physically, or they'll get up in your face maybe on your Instagram or on your TikTok. Like they'll be all directly in front of you. And the worst thing you guys could ever do is take the bait, because those people are fishing. When they put their worm in your waters, don't pull on their worm. My analogies. I like having original analogies. So yeah, when they put their bait fish in your water, don't bite on it knowing that it's going to lead to more. The worst thing you guys could ever do is ever even acknowledge any kind of beef, any kind of drama, or anyone trying to, even if sometimes the enemies might be hidden. And I'll talk about some crystals about how to get rid of enemies, because you do a certain few mechanisms, like a few herbs, a few crystals, you don't have enemies. They're defeating themselves. A lot of times, like for example, if you got, I'll teach an herb right now. If you guys have people talking behind your back, burn cloves through your home. Those people, when you consistently burn cloves through your home, those people will bite their tongues every time they talk bad about you, and they'll know it. They'll know it. They'll bite their lip when they're eating. They'll bite, and I can teach more about this on YouTube, because TikTok, I can't really tell, oh yeah, they're gonna have a bunch of sores in their mouth because they're biting on their lips and they're biting on their tongues because they just talk bad about you. Or the next time they go to talk bad about you, they'll lose their voice. Something will happen, because cloves is a protection, and cloves brings prosperity to the person burning it. And prosperity doesn't just mean abundance, it means you doing well without having a bunch of enemies plotting behind your back. So the thing's tugging on my feet. I'm standing on a rope right now, but basically, when you burn cloves to your house, guess what? Just 100% call your energy back. If you have an enemy that you've been giving your energy to, that you didn't know that you're not supposed to be giving your enemy energy, I mean, a lot of you will just be like, okay, and then kind of like go back and forth with them even a little bit. That's not okay, because you're still giving them your energy. You're still giving them your energy. You haven't shown the Most High that you're ready to surrender and give up control, because everything with humans is about control. We want to be able to control certain situations. Yeah, I want to make them stop talking. Oh, I want to defend myself. The way you defend yourself is with roots, herbs, crystals, prayer, calling your energy back, sealing your aura. It's very simple. I've had a lot of people who try to make me out to be their enemy out of jealousy and out of them making everyone else their enemy. When you don't respond to people who go around trying to make enemies, they'll make everyone else their enemy. Here's a little red flag too. If someone who comes up to you, or someone you know is your friend, or someone gets close to you and be like, oh, this person's plotting against me, I don't think that this person's good, and you start to notice that this person has all these enemies. Red flag. Red flag. Your alarm should go off if you're a genuinely good person. Don't acknowledge it. That's a giant red flag, is when someone who's going to be your enemy, it normally has all their friends. Their friends used to be friends, and now they're enemies. But now you're their friend. You're going to be their enemy very soon. And if you don't call your energy back, if you don't heighten your intuition, work with crystals such as amethyst and lapis lazuli to heighten your intuition, help you detect and sense who's an enemy, so you don't devote your time. I'm going to tell you again, when you devote your time to enemies, when you give your energies to enemies, you become your own enemy. You become whatever they were, because you share energy. Just by looking at someone, just by acknowledging someone. Even in Kundalini Yoga, they'll teach that you can block off certain senses to prevent energy from going out. Everything is energy, and everything is an energy exchange. With vampires, energy vampires, they're taking more energy than they're putting out. It's a deficit. So that's why you'll get drained around them. With enemies, if you're in your world, I hope you guys can hear me because it's very loud and windy, but if those people are in your world and you're letting them, maybe they don't have to be in your world, maybe it's just a text message, maybe it's something you're replying to, you're the problem. If you have all these enemies, you're going to get the straightforward truth when you come to my YouTube channel, because I'm going to tell you something that'll help you that no one has ever told you. Something that'll save you so much time. Beware of people who are always beefing with each other, beefing with, just finding enemies. You have to beware of that. And now guess what? When you're on your own and you're just worrying about yourself and you don't have people who are gossipy or people who are trying to be not birds but bats. People who share information are birds. The people who share gossip or want some energy are they're energy vampires and enemies. Same thing, same fall into the same category. People who are making everyone their enemies are just looking for energy. Don't reply to it. Another crystal you can use for someone, and this is a more rare crystal that you guys can still get, it's somewhat available, it's getting depleted, is Mexican fire agate. it transforms people. But if you're a bad person and you're not doing right, it's gonna help align you so that you're aligned, but it's gonna transform the enemies and the people who are after you. Now, a few other crystals you can use is black tourmaline to prevent any entities or energies. You can also use crystals such as lava. You can use different crystals to help you. Lava sends back negative energy as well. You can use agrimony. It just sends negative energy back as it deflects and protects you. This is a very straightforward video. Don't go out into the world making enemies. Don't accept people who have a bunch of enemies around them. Once you're completely on your own, you'll find, watch how far you get ahead. Watch how much more peace in your life you have. Watch all the new opportunities to roll in. If your guides are doing all they can to try to protect you from enemies that you're making or letting in your life, or if your guides are doing everything to try and show you, hey, don't be giving energy to this person, versus they could be doing something else for you. They could be using their time and energy to find you, like, maybe a new job, maybe a new place to live, maybe a new fancy car. Like maybe they could have been helping you win the lottery, but you're worrying about enemies and you're devoting your energy to that, and your guides are busy and they're just like, we could be doing so much else, but we have to do this. We have to just basically do this. All the energy. How are you doing? Just doing a video. But that's mainly my video on not having any enemies. Just make sure you're devoting, look at this view. Make sure you're devoting your time and your energy to yourself and not worrying about enemies, not just focusing on people who are not right for you. Make sure you're doing everything to align yourself and become the highest version of yourself. Once you give it to God, you can forget about the rest. Once you show God that you're spiritually mature, that you're physically mature, that you're mentally mature, to the point where you don't worry about what someone else is doing, or you don't worry about having enemies. Guess what? I have no enemies. I've always felt that was a good thing to go by, but I didn't know why. You ever find that people who have all these enemies, they never get ahead? If you want to get ahead, if you want to have a dream life, if you want to have your dream car, your dream job, and you have enemies? No. Devote time to yourself. If you make someone your enemy, let them be their own enemies. Let them be, remember, inner me. We are all our own worst enemy. That's the person we should be confronting. This video is going to be really helpful. Once you start cutting out people who are no good for you around you, just don't give people time. Don't give people energy. Don't give people your effort. Watch what happens. Watch your guides have more to bring you. Just a whole bunch of luck will just roll through and come through. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments. I hope this video helped you guys. Until then, I will see you next time. Ciao.